out your leg. There you go. You good?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here to the Jim Hunter Media Center here at Darlington Raceway as we get ready for today's 75th annual Cookout Southern 500. What an incredible way to start off our day than to talk about the 75th anniversary celebration of Darlington Raceway. And here to talk about that today, we have on our far left Executive Director of the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Winston Kelley. We have Darlington Raceway President Josh Harris. And the gentleman next to me here is Charlie Sellers. Charlie is soon to be 91 years old, or I should say 91 years young, lives in Somerville, was 16 years old when he attended the first Southern 500 here at Darlington Raceway, actually snuck in the back of the trunk. I think we're going to hear about that story here soon. But as you saw on your seats, you have a T-shirt bearing the logo here for Darlington's 75th anniversary that will be on display, that we'll be using next year with our two great race weekends coming up in April and then back Labor Day weekend next year. So Josh, let's start us all off here by talking about just how great it is to be celebrating the 75th Cookout Southern 500, but all the 75th anniversary celebrations we're going to have here at the track, Too Tough to Tame.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. And it's exciting to sit here with Charlie. I got the chance to go out and visit with him in the campgrounds earlier this week, and he's been, since he's been coming and we built the Pearson Tower, he's been sitting up there in the Pearson Tower. And just before the start of last season, we actually replaced all of those metal seats with some new comfortable chairback seats. So we had his 8 seats. We found some, number them up 1 through 4. He's got two rows of seats there on the aisle. So we took him some commemorative seats to take back home with him as being one of our longtime ticket holders and a true supporter of Darlington Raceway. And that kind of just, I think, embodies what this track is all about. It's the history, it's the tradition, and it's an honor to be part of celebrating 75 years of racing all throughout 2025 next season. Obviously, we have the 75th running of this race this season that we're celebrating as well, and I'm so looking forward to all the things that we're going to do, and one of them is to do with Winston and his team at the Hall of Fame. We're going to have a big display there to commemorate our 75th, which will open probably sometime in the spring. We're working hard. We've had several meetings thus far throughout the summer to start planning around that, and really look forward and appreciate the partnership.
Winston, how special is Darlington Raceway for you, and how excited are you to be playing a big role in the 75th anniversary celebration here at Darlington Raceway?
Well, at the Hall of Fame, we're honored to be the recognized home for honoring NASCAR's evolving history, incredible heritage, and there's nothing that says history and heritage anymore than Darlington Raceway. And it's another one of the many anniversaries that we're pleased to be a part of. Kevin Schleicher, Wendy Bell, Heather Arledge, among our team members who are here, they'll be the ones that doing the heavy lifting, and just be able to share with the race fans so much that they don't know about. They know about the Menopon, they know about the shape of the track, but show some of the behind the scenes, what makes this track so special, and encourage them to want to be a part of it. So we're honored to help celebrate this incredible anniversary.
Now, Charlie, you are forever ingrained with the history of this facility by being here as a fan for that first Southern 500. You got to tell me the story about you getting to this racetrack in the trunk of a car. We're not going to collect the ticket money from you today, but if you could tell us about that story and how you came about to come to that first Southern 500.
Well, I was 16 years old, and I got up with a bunch of more people, and my cousin was driving the car, and me and another boy got in the trunk. The car was full of people. I don't know who they all were. And we came in off the highway in front of the track. They didn't have anyone in the back. There was nothing back here. And we didn't have no money, so we wanted to see the race. He said, get in the trunk. So we did. And we got in the trunk, and it was hot. God knows it was hot. And we come on in, and after I didn't think he was going to ever stop. And finally he stopped and opened the trunk up, and we got out. I don't even remember the boy's name that was with me in the trunk. don't know. That's a long time ago. I didn't ever think I would make it this far.
Well, we're going to open up the floor for questions. If you have a question for any one of these gentlemen, please raise your hand. We will get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start here with Holly Kane.
What would you say of all the years that you've watched the race? Is there a race that stands out to you? I mean, that's a whole lot of races, but is there something that you kind of look at? If someone said, how's Darlington Raceway, you would tell them about this race. Was there something specific? Your favorite race?
My favorite race? I don't know. Really, that's a hard one. All of them was good, you know. The old-time race car drivers was different than they are now. And we used to come in the infield a lot. And in fact, that's where we was at. Back then, they didn't have coolers. Put it in a tin tub. And you didn't have charcoal grills. You dig a hole in the ground and cook with the charcoal in the ground. And you drank moonshine liquor out of a half-a-gallon jar. And we did a lot of that.
Amen.
Well, I can tell you, one old boy, they called him Blimp, and he was up on top of a car, and he fell off of it into the fire. I never will forget that. Poor old boy's gone now. So, you know, I used to come to all of them when I could. A lot of them I couldn't go to because I was gone, you know. I was in the Navy for a long time, and when I was in there, I couldn't. Most of the time, I was gone. So, you know, I just couldn't. If you're in Norfolk or Florida, you can't, and you ain't getting no money from the Navy to get anywhere. You're lucky to get a bus ticket, and you know, it's. But I went to several of them, you know. But after I got out of the Navy, I went to just about every one of them. I know one time when I was about, I think it was 50 years old, me and my friend was in the stands, and he was about half shot face, and he told this guy, says, look at that boy there, says how old you think he is? And he said, I don't know who he is. He said, that boy is 50, is either 50 or 55. And that was 55 years ago. I mean, 40 years ago, rather. So, and I don't know. I used to go to all I could. I went to several races, not only here, Daytona and Talladega and Atlanta and places like that.
Our next question in the back would be Chris Parks.
Chris Parks, Myrtle Beach, Channel 13. First and foremost, thank you for your service to this country. And secondly, back here, I'm sorry, I'm way in the back here. And can you describe just how you've seen the racetrack change from 1950 up to 2024? I mean, you saw it at the beginning, you see it now. What's this track been like and all the changes and everything?
Well, when the track was first built, I was out on the highway, and there was a couple of buildings out there. They sold tickets, and there's nothing on the back. You couldn't even get the gate. You had to come through the front, and it's changed a lot. The infield didn't have anything in it but the infield. It did have a block house out there. It was a restroom, but somebody tore that down. I think drunks probably got in there and tore it down, you know. And on the back side, I think it's on turn 3. They had a restroom built up even with the real high up, and the back of it hang over on the outside, and it was on poles on the outside, and they gave away, and it fell. It did. It fell, and there was cars parked under it, and you can imagine what a mess that was. I can remember that real good. But I mean, you know, like the old saying goes, you've seen them once. I've had many people tell me, you've seen them one, you've seen them all. You know, but that's not true. It's not true. You see something different on all of them. At the time, I think it was Yarborough went over the wall here at one time. And I've seen a lot of movie stars come here. I've seen that guy Palatine, and I've seen Gomer Powell, and that sergeant used to be. I know he got on the microphone, that sergeant, and he said, wanting to know where Gomer Powell was at. Did he follow him to the racetrack? And there's a lot of them, and a lot of those movie stars came here back in the day. But you know, we didn't ever get to see them, and they hit them, I guess.
Well, surprise, surprise, surprise. We're going to go next to Deb Williams.
Deb Williams, Auto Week. Again, thank you for your service and sacrifice in the Navy. When you came to that inaugural race in 1950, you said you didn't think they were ever going to open the trunk. But what was it you saw that day in that race that endeared you to this sport and made you want to come back?
Fast running cars going around in a circle. They really wasn't going that fast, but we thought they were, and they looked like they were. Now they're going, you know, twice that fast. But I guess that was it. Didn't have anything to do back in them days, you know. You didn't have any other thing. That was the only recreation you had.
Have you gone to the museum and looked at Johnny Mance's car that you saw win that day that's sitting in the museum?
At the front, when it's in the front, yeah, I've been through there several times. And I went to the one in Charlotte, too, about 4 years ago, I guess.
Thank you.
Well, we're running short on time, but Josh, before we let you go here, if you could just run us through the schedule next year here at Darlington Raceway and the two great race weekends we have coming up.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So April 5th and 6th will be the official throwback weekend of NASCAR. Once again, we'll be celebrating the history and tradition of NASCAR, as well as, obviously, with our 75th anniversary. That'll be a big part of our theme for the weekend, so celebrating 75 years of history here at Darlington Raceway. We'll have the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, and we'll have the Cup Series again with the Goodyear 400 on Sunday, and then we'll be back here again Labor Day weekend to kick off the playoffs for both the NASCAR Cup Series and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So it's going to be a great year of racing once again here at Darlington Raceway in 2025.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and to really start us off here with the right tone. And Charlie, thank you for being a fan. I mean, you are the lifeblood of our sport and have been here really for 75 years. Incredible. Thank you again, and we owe you a debt of gratitude, sir.
I'm looking for 100. I'm looking for 100. But